Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of Caveopolis. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I am having a fantastic day. Last episode we went into the end, and we ultimately unlocked the next tier of ore, which is awesome for us. So, we are going... Ooh, wrong door. We are going to be able to get into Mekanism today, which is... great. That's going to open up a lot of doors and possibilities and things for us. So first things first, I'm just going to toss some raw osmium into that redstone furnace, and I'm going to toss some of this fluorite. Ooh, can you not pulverize it to get dust? I guess not. How do you spell this? UO. How do you get dust? It has to be a crusher, specifically. Okay, well, that is fine. So, let's just grab some of these osmium ingots. This thing is so quick. I love it. All the upgrades. Just wait, though, till we get the Mekanism one that can do, like, 9 stacks of items at once. Oh, good stuff. Anyway, so, now that we have osmium, this is basically the key to everything Mekanism. Mekanism requires lots and lots of osmium. So we've got our osmium here, and we need to make a metallurgic infuser, which is pretty cheap, but as you can see, requires osmium, which is why we couldn't do it earlier. So let's just grab 4 of those. Metallurgic. Here we go. 2 redstone, 2 furnaces. Okay. So 2 redstone. Do I have any furnaces? I should have a couple just chilling in here. Yeah, there we go. And boom, metallurgic infuser. So now what we can actually do is upgrade this to a higher tier. So you can see there is a basic infusing factory, there is an advanced, there is an elite, and there is an ultimate. And if I remember correctly, it goes 3 items, 5 items, 7 items, 9 items at once. And then the basic one is just a single item. So you can get some pretty crazy numbers out. Like you can process a lot of materials very quickly with just a single one of these factories if you have the highest tier. So that will be great for us. But in order to do that, we need to make use of our metallurgic infuser to make basic control circuits, advanced control circuits, elite control circuits, and ultimate control circuits, and then the corresponding alloy as well. And these are made with a variety of different materials in the metallurgic infuser. So first things first, it's going to say, hey, metallurgic infuser, do the thing. And I'm like, okay, no problem. So now we need this, and we need this. And basically you get this with iron and osmium, respectively, using redstone. We're also going to want an enrichment chamber, but that's going to require basic control circuits. So we will start off... Oh, I should probably grab some iron and some redstone. Hey, just a thought. Redstone. Iron. There we go. And we're actually going to be able to be getting into applied energistics very soon as well, which I am very much looking forward to. So let's just break this stuff for the moment. Let's get rid of that. I don't need that at the moment. And we'll just put down our metallurgic infuser right here. It will fill up with power. And the way this works is you put some sort of material into the dump, or into this like yellow box, which fills up this bar. And then you put whatever you want to have processed, whether it's iron ingots, osmium, whatever, into here. It will use this and apply it to this item to make this one. That's basically how it works. And sometimes it takes, maybe 1 redstone, 2 redstone. It depends on the item and things that you're trying to make, but it gets the job done. Also, this thing is very slow right now, as you can see, but there are also upgrades in Mekanism to vastly speed this thing up. So that will also be good. It looks like to do the osmium one, it takes 2 redstone, so we will put 4 in for these guys. And that will give us basic control circuits. And then what else do we still need? We still need osmium dust and fluorite dust. Fluorite dust in a crusher, osmium dust in a crusher or an enrichment chamber. Looks like we can put... It has to be the raw version, though. Okay, so we're going to have to make a crusher. That's fine. That will not be difficult to do. So let's just take a peek at the crusher here. We're going to need 2 basic control circuits for that. So I also want to make the enrichment chamber. So let's go ahead and make 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just get that going. So it will make 2 more of these green basic control circuits for us because those will be needed. And then we also are going to need a steel casing, which is going to require 4 energized steel, which I guess I don't actually have here. That's fine. We'll grab 4 steel ingots. We will grab 4 glass. And then we also need 4 either emeralds or diamonds. I'm just going to use emeralds because I think they are used for just less things overall. And the energized steel, I believe we need this guy for an energizing orb and a rod, and that means I probably should grab the wrench too, just in case. Okay, cool. So I'm going to get some of this stuff processed and put together, and then we will, come back and continue down the mechanism path. Okay, so first things first, we need to make the crusher because it's needed for turning fluorite into fluorite dust. It's the only way to do it. So we will make a crusher, and then we're going to go ahead and we'll just plop it down right here, right next to this guy. Then we can toss stuff into here, and it will get crushed and turn into things like dust. I believe this is essentially the same concept as a pulverizer. Does basically the same thing. But yeah, that's essentially what this guy is used for. Once we have our 4 fluorite dust, we can then use that to make an enrichment chamber over here. We could also use osmium dust for this as well, but we're going to use fluorite dust simply because fluorite that's basically all fluorite is used for, is fluorite dust. Like, it's not a particularly useful material other than that, so let's go ahead and make one of these guys. Now, what this thing is for, this guy will create enriched versions of various resources. So if you remember, the metallurgic infuser requires stuff to be put into here, right? And it can be redstone, it can be diamond, it can be obsidian, all sorts of stuff, right? By putting it into here first, what will happen is you will get, instead of redstone, you'll end up with enriched redstone. And instead of 10 millibuckets, which is what you would get from a single piece of redstone dust, you end up with 80. So it gives you 8 times as much metallurgic infuser materials, I guess you would say, than just by putting the base one in. So it lets you be way, 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 way more efficient with your resources, which is great. So that's exactly what we're going to want to do. So now that we have... Oh, and I need to make osmium dust as well, which I think was also in the crusher. I think this will turn into osmium dust, and then that should complete the mechanism basic chapter, I believe. Very good. Okay, so this is all good. So now, next up is Certus, and this is where we start getting some of the materials for applied energistics. But before we get into that, I think it will be absolutely essential for us to make a few things from Mekanism. First of all, we're going to want speed and energy upgrades, and you can see these are not super expensive. They just take some infused alloy, some glass and some dust of some sort, gold for the energy ones and osmium dust for the speed ones. You can put up to 8 of each of these into a machine. And the energy ones greatly reduce the energy efficiency. The speed ones greatly reduce the processing time. And when you combine these with actually upgrading the machines themselves to higher versions, like the ultimate infusing factory and all that kind of stuff, that is essentially how you are going to get things sort of really moving at a much faster speed when you're processing all these materials. So we're going to want to make a bunch of those. We may actually also want to make some muffling upgrades. I believe you put 4 of these into a machine. These take steel dust, but Mekanism machines are actually really loud, like really, really loud. So muffling upgrades just kind of, they just make them quieter. It's really a quality of life thing, not necessary, but just kind of nice to have. So we're going to want to make those. We're going to want to upgrade the metallurgic infuser, the crusher, and the enrichment chamber to the highest tier of factory. And then last but not least, we are also going to want to make, here we go, ultimate universal cables. These things are extremely high tier energy cables. And, you know what, we could maybe even get away with the elite, because, well, I mean, we might as well go ultimate, but you may remember there were a couple things that didn't work for us, like this energy rod. You can't put it on top of these energy pipes. It needs to be connected to something else, and I believe that is also the case with flux networks. So, bearing that in mind, I want to make just a couple of these ultimate universal cables so we can take advantage of wireless energy transfer and get a little bit more of a permanent setup for our energizing rod and our energizing orb than just kind of having them wedged back here. So, yeah, I'm going to do some mechanism crafting. In order to upgrade and get these like higher tiers of ore, you basically have to take the previous one. So you start out with, iron and redstone. That makes the infused alloy. Then you infuse that with diamond, and that makes the next one. And then you infuse that one with enriched obsidian, which... Enriched obsidian is made from refined obsidian dust, which is made by putting obsidian shards or dust into a metallurgic infuser with diamond. And you may remember we get obsidian shards by putting obsidian into an eroder, or the other way was just straight up obsidian dust, which we can get by putting obsidian into an enrichment chamber. And it looks like that's going to give us more output altogether. So yeah, lots of just kind of incremental crafting steps where you have to make a thing and then use that to make another thing and so on and so forth. So I'm going to get to work on that. All right, my friends, I have done a bunch of mechanism crafting. We are up to ultimate factory level for our infuser, enricher, and crusher. And I also went ahead and made an ultimate smelting factory. So this thing can smelt 9 items at once. It's super quick. It's a huge upgrade from the one from thermal expansion that we were using before. Mekanism is kind of an overpowered mod. And I mean that in a good way. It's like, it's not ridiculous, but it gives you so much processing power, I guess you would say, production, in a very nice little compact space, which is very nice. So anyway, next up, we need to get into sort of laying the groundwork for applied energistics. And in order to do that, we're going to need a few things. I need 3 machine frames. So I've already got the stuff ready. Actually, it's steel casings, which are basically machine frames. Did I not grab the... Aha! Would probably help if I grabbed those. There we go. So let's make 3 steel casings. Now, these are going to be used for an enrichment chamber, a charger, and an inscriber. And the enrichment chamber is actually kind of annoying because I already made one. I have the ultimate version. But the ultimate version, I have a feeling, is not going to count for the quest. So, rip. It's fine. Anyway, so let's take this fluorite. We need to make Certus seeds. And those are made like this. You need 4 osmium dust, 1 fluorite ingot, and 4 nether quartz. And that will make 32 seeds. So let's just go ahead, and if I chuck... I probably don't need a full stack, honestly. Let's do 1 stack of we'll do 16 fluorite, and then it was a 4-to-1 ratio, so if I toss can I just toss this in here? Will that get it done? Okay. I'm not sure why that didn't... I'm very confused. Why did it process all of them except this one? What? What? Whatever. I'll worry about it later. And then we also need some nether quartz, and we've got plenty of that right here. There we go. So let's go ahead and make 16, a ton of these Certus quartz seeds. And these are basically used to make Certus quartz crystals, which are kind of like the most basic material for making basically anything from applied energistics. So we're going to need a ton of these. Now I got to remember... Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So what we can actually do, thankfully, is we can toss these into an enriching factory. Normally, in applied energistics, what you would have to do is throw them into the water, wait 20 minutes. Eventually, you can speed that process up, but they're kind of a pain. Although you can also just find Certus quartz out in the world in most mod packs. In this one, though, we can just chuck these into an enriching chamber, and boom, it will do basically all of the work for us, turn it into Certus quartz crystals, which is going to be super quick for us. Now, we also need an enriching chamber just for quest purposes. So I'm going to need 4 fluorite dust. That's Crusher should be here. So let's just, boop, there's our fluorite dust. And we're also going to need 2 iron ingots and 2 basic control circuits. So the basic control circuits are made with osmium. We need 2 redstone, is that right? Yes, 2 redstone and then 2 iron ingots. And, oh, wait a minute. Just kidding. We need 4 redstone, not 2. There we go. Okay, so now that we have all that stuff, pop over here. You can see this has already finished all the Certus quartz crystals, which is wonderful. We'll toss our osmium ingots in here, along with our 4 redstone. That gets us our basic control circuits for the enricher thingy-madoo. There we go. Make that. And now we can start actually getting into all of these quests. So we need to make Certus quartz blocks. Those, very easy. Boom, Certus quartz block. Okay, and you can uncraft them as well, so that part is easy. We need Certus quartz dust, which you can do in a crusher or an enrichment chamber, but that's only for the ores, so realistically we do it in a crusher. So let's just do, I don't know, we'll do 1 stack. We'll turn 1 stack into dust, because we're going to need large quantities of, like, all of these resources, so this will be fine. There's our dust. And then silicon. You smelt Certus quartz dust. And that's how you get silicon. And silicon is used for... I know I've said this several times, but it's used for like everything in applied energistics. So this is kind of the process you have to go to get sort of the building blocks for like the basic stuff. But we've got our silicon there. That's good. Now we need to actually be able to create all of the stuff from Applied Energistics. So we need a charger, which is another thing that we were going to need one of those steel casings for. We're also going to need some iron ingots. There we go. And let's actually just go to Applied Energistics. So we need a charger, just one for now. And we're also going to need an inscriber. And this guy's a little bit more difficult to make, but you'll notice it does require a charger as well as part of the recipe. So we actually need to make 2 chargers, but that's fine. And then what we do is we want to throw this onto a power source. If I remember correctly, do you not connect? Are you not compatible with those? That would be very annoying. Do I need to use Mekanism pipes for this? No. Do you need to go onto like a power cell? Will that transfer output? Okay, now you are actually getting power. So I guess it just doesn't like a lot of the different potential power blocks, which is rather annoying. Let's test something. If I throw you, say, onto here, and then this is our flux network stuff. Let me grab a flux plug, because I'm just curious to see if we take a flux point, provides energy to adjacent blocks. So if I throw you on here, and then I do one of those, or I want to go on top. There we go. And we want to put you onto main power. Hey, that totally works. Okay, sweet. So we do have our wireless power going, it looks like. So this is perfectly fine then. Okay, cool. So how this thing works is, let's just break that. We don't need it. Throw you down, put one of you on top, like so. So the way this thing works is you put crystals in it. It does a little zappy zappy. And after a little zappy zappy, you get charged Certus quartz crystals. Now, thankfully, I'm fairly sure that this process can be automated. Thankfully. Otherwise, this would be an absolute nightmare. So let's just grab some item pipes and a couple of chests. Because otherwise we would have to do this all manually, and yeah, that would not be fun. So let's just go here, here, and I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it should work. Cool. I also forgot, though, to grab my wrench. So I need that. And we shouldn't need any item pipe upgrades because it's a very slow process anyway. So if we go here and here, so extract and extract from this, and then we throw all these guys in, it'll do its thing. As soon as it turns into charged, it will move over. So there we go. That's doing its thing. That's slowly working its way up to what we need. So then we need to make fluix seeds. And these are made using nether quartz and charged Certus quartz crystals, as well as, you'll notice, enriched redstone. So again, enriched redstone, pretty easy. Nothing crazy there. So let's just grab, and does that make 32? I should double check. Yes. So we want to do this recipe, I don't know, 16 times, I guess. So we'll do a stack of each, which means we would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And of course I put one too many in, but it's okay. That will give us lots and lots of these fluix crystal things. So let's toss these into here. That'll get the enriched redstone taken care of. And then once this is all done, working its way through, then we will be able to make the next little bit. You know what? While I'm waiting, let's just do half of the recipe. Let's just do it this way. So we'll go 8. And there we go. That makes us a bunch of Fluix seeds, and then just like the other ones, we can toss them into the enriching factory to make Fluix crystals. And those we can use for all sorts of other good stuff. So that is lovely. I'll just take these for now so we can continue on with our progress. So first things first, you can make Fluix blocks, and we are going to need 2 of those. So let's just do that. And then also there is Fluix dust, which, as you may have guessed, is made by throwing that into here, just like so. So there we go. And now we can make the inscriber as well. And that completes the, I guess you would call it the applied energistics preparation chapter, the Certus chapter. So next thing is actually getting into applied energistics itself. And applied energistics is an incredible storage mod. If you're familiar with refined storage, it actually came before refined storage. Applied energistics has been around forever. But the way I've already just kind of explained it is that refined storage is a little bit easier, but not as powerful. Whereas applied energistics, you can do just insane things, but it's a little bit more complicated to work, and it takes a bit more to sort of get into. So like refined storage is kind of like streamlined applied energistics, but doesn't have quite as many capabilities. So, but I think we're going to save that for a future episode, guys, because I'm out of time for this one. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, my friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.